You guys are watching the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, back in with a mailbag, answering all of your questions on anything you want to know about the Dallas Cowboys. First up from Deonte Wimbish, $2 super chat. Win now trades you make like the Bucks or Rams. I don't think you have to go like even as extreme as some of those teams ended up going, but I think this type of example is you could make a Robert Quinn type of trade. Buy a guy, iffy contract, don't give up that much, helps you in the short term. I think Grady Jarrett could fit that type of mold for you as a guy that you think works in the Dan Quinn style defense. The front didn't change that much between the Cowboys. Falcons is more in the back end, how the coverage fit with the front usage. Expensive contract, you could restructure it, extend him, bring the cap hit down. That's the type of example I would have interest in doing to help you try to win games right now. From Mark, you'd think a $40 million QB in Gallup and Schultz and CD and company should be enough. Problem is Dak is overrated, but he's okay. Coaching and Jerry Jones are the real issues. I would agree on the last part there that coaching and Jerry and the Joneses are your issues because the coaches have changed. The quarterbacks have certainly changed. The results have not. The only constant has been the Jones at the front organization. I'll also make this, it's tough to win titles. I want to acknowledge that, but it's been a very long time. That's frustrating. I also think you can make that same point about a lot of the different personnel teams out there, about your high-paid QB and a good receiving core. Seahawks got a pretty great unit of DK Metcalf, Lockett, a bunch of decent investment at running back, and Gerald Everett got paid $8 million. It's how life works in the NFL. It's the Joneses that are your crux of the issue and how what your philosophy is overall. From Roy Williams, could Trevor Penning fall to 24? He's my favorite player, and I'm worried about Tyron Smith. I think he could fall. And if he does slide down, I think it's a decent consideration to have. I think some teams might want him at right tackle. He's a pretty good run blocker. Here's my issue. If you're taking Penning at 24, where are you playing him in year one? Because unless you're moving on from Tyron Smith, your first-round pick is a backup for you. Because I don't think you're going to play him at left guard. Maybe you could. I don't think he's the right type of player for that, but you could give it a shot there. Hasn't done it much in the NFL, or in CFB, played some right guard. That makes it a little bit tricky from that standpoint, from the value, the eval perspective. Super chat from my burner account. Tom, watch the Super Bowl. I found myself saying Dallas would not do that. From a play calling to roster construction, what's going to take for real change? I don't know. I actually was watching Sean McVay run the football for no reason on first and second down and go, that's classic Cowboys. That's the way I took it there. Roster construction, I agree with. That's going to take a philosophical change from the top down that I don't know when we're going to get to it. Maybe if they get desperate enough, which they're not at yet. From Zavier Mckenzie IV, sign OBJ on the cheap. I am more open to it than I've ever been in the past. The idea of adding Beckham makes more sense because you might not keep Amari Cooper and or Michael Gallup or Cedric Wilson or Malik Turner. And he unquestionably boosted his own stock this past year with the LA Rams. So it does start to make more sense from that perspective. The red flag here is tore his ACL, same one, for the second time in 16 months. Now, he stepped up in the postseason. The value is higher. He might just decide to re-sign with the LA Rams, but I think this year, more than pretty much any other year for Dallas, since he's a free agent coming off injury, fits the buy low mantra of what the Cowboys love to do. Could make sense for Dallas. But what do you guys think? Would you sign OBJ? Type in OBJ for yes you would, no BJ for you would not. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in OBJ for yes, or type in no BJ for no. From Sith Stealth, would you take Drake London or Treylon Burks if they're there at 24? Depends on what your needs are at wide receiver. If you've retained Amari Cooper and or other guys, you probably don't need to do so. I don't think that's a likely outcome in the end for the Cowboys. If receivers a need, yes. If it's not, well, then we'll know by then. From Vince, some redrafts have Parsons at number 4. Where would you put him in a redraft and in this year's draft class? if we're operating under, we know what he is, which I think is the whole point of these. He's the number 1 player this year, and he is off the board by number 4. No disrespect to Kyle Pitts. I think the Falcons would take him over Pitts because they need pass rush help desperately. And I would wonder if Miami would trade down from 3. I would wonder if they would stand pat and take Parsons at that number 3 overall pick. And if not, then the quarterbacks are still going to go 1, 2, 3. Dolphins could go get him again at 6 in the worst case. So he's going early because you know you're getting a premium pass rusher, which you didn't know when he was coming out of Penn State. All right, from Super Chat now from Andrew Ezpeleta. Hope I got that last name right. Do you fear any other NFC East teams drafting or picking up a good QB in the offseason? I do. Philadelphia's got all of the draft picks to make a big-time move if they want to get somebody via a big name, a Wilson, a Murray, a Watson, Rodgers, etc. Washington, the defense is still solid. It was not great this year, but they got talent there. They need a QB. The Giants, I like their offseason so far. They need a QB. Drafting one, I'm not as concerned about. Trading for a proven guy, yeah, I would be, because that makes those teams a lot better. Do you want to be a part of these mailbags? Then subscribe. Hit the big red button and join us all day for videos. We got a video coming out each and every single day. And by the way, change in the schedule. The live Cowboys Report shows it's off-season, SCN. It's now moving from Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, to Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. From G-Sound, thanks for answering my DMs, you're the man. Well, I appreciate you for the super chat, my friend. That's why I have the DMs open. I try to get to as many as I can in the end. From Tristen Brown, just for fun, can you move Zeke to tight end? No, can't. He's not a good enough pass catcher. He's a good blocker, but, I mean, Zeke's pass catching is okay. It's not bad, but, I mean, is he going to get better? He's a 20-something-year-old back. He's not a tight end. So, fun idea. No. From Keith the Man, draft Parsons' college teammate Brandon Smith. That is the Penn State linebacker. There's actually 2 of them this year, the other being Jesse Luketa. I think Smith fits more of your off-ball linebacker mold. Luketa, however you pronounce his last name. Smith, if he's there, maybe 3rd round, 4th round, potentially. I think that could make some sense. Andrew Guerrero, should we trade pick 24 for picks 32 and 34 plus more? Should you? Yes. Can you? No. That trade value package from the Lions here of 32 and 34, that would be able to get them more into the, let's see, 184. I'm doing my math on the updated trade value chart that I like to consult in these situations. That's going to get you into the, top 15, if not bordering on top 12, were those 2 picks plus more. Not going to happen. Bailey Gordon, how much will Allen Robinson cost us? Good question. I'm not sure. He's always been good until this year. I would say probably something similar to what Michael Gallup is going to cost you. And is there that big of a difference? You know, Gallup's younger, Robinson's more productive and proven, both coming off down years for various reasons. It's a good replacement name. I wonder, though, if it would still be a bit more than what Steven is prepared to spend. Cowboys hoodies are on sale. It is getting colder after all. You can go get a Cowboys hoodie, 30% off a deal even Stephen Jones likes. Chatsports.com/Cowboys hoodie. Tons of variety in terms of the styles, the colors, but you got the named hoodies as well, which I actually think look good. I don't really hate those. Those look actually pretty solid. Quarter zips as well. I'm obviously a big fan. 30% off. Link is in the comment section and in the description. Chatsports.com/Cowboys hoodie. You'll see all of the available hoodies on sale in the comment section. Isaac, trade Tony Pollard because Garrett or McCarthy don't know how to use a great talent. What are you getting back? If you're not going to use him and you get a good pick back, I get where you're coming from. Also, maybe just bully them into using Tony Pollard more. That's what I would do. From Israel M., should we try to get Kelvin Joseph into a starting role? Probably. Look, Anthony Brown played well for you this year, but you don't have to keep both Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis. and you spent a second-round pick on Joseph. So this offseason, my plan would be give him the opportunity to earn that role in the offseason, the preseason, and training camp, etc. Gary Stuckey, who is the best player for the Cowboys to get. So if it's draft, realistically, I think Linderbaum would be my hypothetical best available player who could actually be on the board. That is the center from Iowa. Free agency, it's a good question. The big names like a Von Miller, etc., might not be all that realistic. If Marcus May's value plummets because of the Achilles injury, that could be a decent name. The Falcons linebackers, we're drawing a blank on his name. Yes, Hoyset Olakun, he could be a good fit as well for Dallas. From Chris Romero, would you trade Cooper, not Copper, for a second-round pick, then grab a receiver in the first or second round? In the end, you're moving on from Cooper, saving some money, but then spending your premium draft capital on the same spot. I would probably keep Cooper, but if you're not going to keep him, then yeah, I would definitely trade him. From my burner account, so when is Kellen Moore taking over as head coach? Maybe never. Depends. Does his offense get fixed this year? If so, he's going to have head coaching interest. If not, he might go the way of a Joe Brady, for example. Neal Morris. If the Cowboys can't sign Dalton Schultz, who are some of the free agent options? Well, I'm ignoring the expensive names. Some potentially cheaper options here for you. David Njoku, the most expensive of this group. I would be intrigued by O.J. Howard, underused in Tampa, former first-round pick. Hayden Hurst is a backup in Atlanta and was a backup for the Ravens. Could make a nice pairing with Blake Jarwin if you keep him. Maybe Evan Ingram becomes good. Maybe not in Dallas. And I'll throw in a Cowboys legend. You guys want a blocking tight end? Jeff Swain certainly fits that mold. But as it relates to Schultz, will the Cowboys end up re-signing him? Type in Y for yes, they will, or type in N for no, they will not. I don't think they do, but I want to hear your guys' predictions for me in the comments section. Y for yes, N for no. From Devin Latimer, I think the Stafford Hall of Fame talk is ridiculous as I think it is. You take Dak over him right now. I know I do. I think both those QBs are in the same tier of this is your franchise guy. You should feel good about them. Joe Burrow's in that tier. I think Kyler Murray's in that grouping. Deshaun Watson, when the outfield stuff is if it's cleared up, is in that grouping as well. Then your freaks like your Brady, Mahomes is formerly Brady, probably Rodgers, maybe Josh Allen in there. Those guys, you should feel good about whoever your quarterback is. But also, Stafford's not a Hall of Famer. He's not. He should not be one just because he won a title. He hasn't done nearly enough in the regular season. He's never been used as a top 5 QB. Can't be a Hall of Famer there. From Bailey Gordon, Jameson Williams and Tyler Linderbaum fall to us 24. Who do we take? I'm going Linderbaum unless you just have a massive glaring need at wide receiver. I love both those prospects. Two good names, the Bama receiver and the Iowa center. But if Linderbaum is there, I'm taking him. From Brian, one name, Jermaine Johnson, a badass. That is the edge rusher out of Florida State. If edge is a need for you, I do think Johnson makes sense. He was a big-time Senior Bowl riser this year. From Israel M., reaction to DeMarcus Ware not making the Hall of Fame. It is a joke. He should have been a first balloter. He earned it unequivocally, and the idea that they have to wait. They are either good enough or they are not good enough. Like, that's the mindset. So-and-so had to wait. Stupid. So you're making previous mistakes impact current ones? It's a bad idea. He should have been in Hall of Fame. Those old boomer journalists all messed up. From Nick Lanham, if you let both Cooper and Gallup go, who do you go for in free agency? I mean, my answer is yes. You got to get more receiver help. At that point, your number 2 under contract is Simi Fehoko. That's a terrible idea. They tried the whole wide receiver by committee thing. It didn't work out there. And there's a long list of names, both free agency and the draft, that makes sense. So you can go big, go get a Chris Godwin. Go bounce back guy and Allen Robinson. Buy low candidate, DJ Chark. You can draft any of the round 1 guys. Drake London, Traylon Burks, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, etc. There are names out there for Dallas. I want you now to name a free agent who you want the Dallas Cowboys to sign. Let me know in the comments section.